I said I was going to go through all of April and not purchase a book, and the best laid plans. I am reading The Brothers Karamazov right now for the first time. Started that right around April 1st. That was going to take me, or is going to take me, a good 2 months to get through. So there's no need to buy one more book. But the discipline required for such things proved to be too much. It doesn't help that I also found a new bookstore yesterday. And when you find a new bookstore, you have to visit it, obviously. And I only bought 2 books anyway, okay? So it's not like I just threw down my life savings, but I'm excited about those books. They're great additions to the collection. But my stack, I think now, is a little over 20 books. And so it's growing at a pace that I am not going to keep up with. I thought I would share the stack, at least some of the books that are in the stack, with you today. So let's jump right into it. Book number 1. This is the Portable Renaissance Reader. I literally woke up one day and was thinking about the Renaissance for whatever reason, and I found a bookstore on Instagram called Vintage Lore Books that I spend way too much time on a daily basis, just surfing through their inventory. Shout out to Vintage Lore Books, by the way. I highly suggest you follow them. They have great selections on everything, kind of vintage paperbacks, super cool vintage paperbacks. And right around the time that I was thinking it'd be interesting to have a Renaissance option in my to-be-read stack, I found this on their page, and it was in great condition. It's got a whole bunch of writers from the golden age of Italy, from 1400 to 1600. And so I thought this would be a good option to have as I just kind of surf through these 200 years through the Renaissance and see if there were any writers that stuck out to me that I could maybe dive a little deeper into. So this serves as a sort of charcuterie of Renaissance writers that I can pick and choose from. And the second book in my to-be-read stack pairs nicely with this. You might as well, if you're going to get into the Renaissance, you got to get into Machiavelli. There's just no way around it. And I got this on Thrift Books. This is The Essential Writings of Machiavelli, or Machiavelli. Okay, I won't do that anymore. Sorry about that. In this particular book, it has Machiavelli's political works, including the entirety of The Prince, selections from The Discourses, The Art of War, and Florentine Histories, along with political essays and treatises. What a lovely word. Treatises, including an essay on the nature of the French. What is French nature? We will find out. And this goes well with my interest in philosophy lately. Obviously, Machiavelli is foundational, at least in the Western canon. I think it's going to be interesting to get into the Renaissance because it was sort of an explosion of creativity. I mean, you had Michelangelo.
Michelangelo would blush.
Leonardo da Vinci, Machiavelli, and it seems like this was a time where artistry was flourishing. And I think today that our artistic spirit and creativity is lacking. We don't take risks anymore, and there are a number of reasons for that. But I thought it would be interesting to read about a time where that spirit was there, where we were interested in the excitement around art and how people were inspired to kind of venture out and create these incredible works. The next book that I have in my stack that I'm excited to get to is Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. I just finished reading Plato's Republic earlier this year, thought it was probably the most thought-provoking book I have ever read. Knowing that the Republic is considered his magnum opus and that it is foundational to Western thought, I wanted to get into that book and sort of start my way through the Western canon. And so the next book in that process for me is the Nicomachean Ethics. I'm interested to see if Aristotle responds to Plato in any way in this book, but I'm also highly interested in seeing Aristotle's definition of the good life. I've heard that this is the greatest self-help book ever written, and I didn't buy it per se because I wanted a self-help book, but this book is said to also be foundational in the ethics of the West. It formulates our ideas of what a good life is, and so I thought it would be good to read this and see if I could also come up with my own definition of what a good life is and sort of make my own map and hierarchy of values for a happy life. So again, that is Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. I got the Focus Philosophical Library edition. It's a translation by Joe Sachs, S-A-C-H-S. This translation is specifically created for students, so thought that would be a good option for me on a first reading. The next book is one of 2 that I found at this new bookstore yesterday. It's by a writer that I am really excited to read and get into. The book is A Confession and Other Religious Writings by Leo Tolstoy, a little-known, obscure Russian man who just never quite made it as an author. I got this for 2 reasons. One, it's a good bite-sized starting point. to get into Tolstoy, I think. And two, on the back it says that he addresses a question. What is religion? And of what does its essence consist? And I've been wondering similar things lately. What about religion makes it one of society's pillars? And what exactly, in its job as a pillar of society, what exactly is it holding up? Why do its effects on the soul vary so greatly between individuals? Can somebody please tell me what the hell is going on? But I'm hoping to find some insight from Tolstoy. Even if he doesn't answer those questions directly, I think that a mind such as his, addressing these questions, what is religion? What's its essence? He discusses religion and morality. Plus, he wrote this at the end of his life, and so I think it'll be really interesting to get somebody's perspective who has sort of lived their life and experienced so much, and it'll be him applying all of the things he's learned and dishing out all that wisdom at this point in his life, which I think will be invaluable. So again, that's Tolstoy's A Confession and Other Religious Writings. The fifth and final book in today's haul is a book that I didn't even have on my to-be-read list, but I walked in, I saw it, and thought that it was special when I saw it. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's a first edition with the completely intact dust jacket. The book is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. And look at how beautiful this cover is. I mean, there isn't a scratch on it. There's a couple scratches, but for the most part, it's completely intact. This book came out in 1965, and someone wrote in it on the first page, it was gifted on September 30th, 1966. On the inside flap of the dust jacket, it says it has already been hailed as a masterpiece. So apparently they just knew immediately when this book came out that it was something to behold. And I wanted to preserve the dust jacket, so I had them cover it in this little plastic cover here. I had no intention of getting a book like this, but sometimes beauty calls, and I very much judge this book by its cover. And it's a classic, you know? So those are just 5 of the books in my to-be-read stack. I'll do probably 1 or 2 more videos going over the others. That's it for today. Happy reading, and I will see you in the next video.